Shalom, you happy to talk?
Can you hear me?
Counter. Counter.
Say something, Hakiyan.
Yeah, Karawan Khan. Brakata Yahawa. Why Yahawa Shah?
Check if yours is up. Hold on, turn on that. Say something, Hakiyan.
Khan. 1 2 1 2.
You gotta say something in patois. Let me see if I can hear you. Say something in patois, Hakiyan. Let me see if I can hear you.
Wife dead.
Give him my hand, you can hear him. Alright, most of Christ. Let me just pull up these notes. Also, remember, check out Commanding General Yohanna's radio show, Monday, 2 a.m. UK time. There's also one Saturday, 2 a.m. UK time. We have classes here in the UK, Monday through Friday. We have them Monday, Wednesday, Thursday in the school, 394 Lodge Road, B18, 5PW. And they will also have them online Tuesday and Friday, one from Manchester, one from London. We also have On the Ends on Friday, done by Officer Karafia, sometimes myself, with Officer Quatzar. Check out that as well. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me just. All right, then. Also, we had the Feast of Hanukkah Saturday gone, was successful. Brothers and sisters was here getting down. It was a good day, man. It was a good day, man. Listen, man. Nobody does it how the ISUPK does it, man.
That's right.
Nobody does it how the ISUPK does it, man. Listen, I see some fake Israelites in the UK trying to get down, and it's just the thing ain't looking right, man. The thing wasn't looking right, man. Instead of being a fake version, trying to be a fake version of us, why not just come be the real thing, man?
That's right.
Come be the real thing, man. You don't have to be some fake version. I said, listen, man. Let me not even get started, man. Getting started with what I seen, man. It was disgusting to behold, Hakiana. It was a horrible sight to see.
Khan.
Also, any questions, just type them in. And as you know, it's Christmas this Sunday, so the whole world is getting ready to celebrate it. The whole world's getting ready to celebrate it. And the thing is, most people can't even afford it. Right. There was this one girl, she was asking people, can she have money for gas and electric? And I was like, oh, why don't you have money for gas and electric? Well, I had to buy my daughter a Christmas present. So I said, well, damn, you and your daughter's going to have a cold Christmas. You're going to have a cold Christmas with a ton of toys, man. It's going to have ice all on them toys, man.
They're cold, man.
The remote control card is ice all on the remote control. Listen, man, I'm sure you'd rather your kids be in a warm house than presents, man. Sometimes kids have to go without. Listen, we went without our whole life, and we just fine, man. Right. Moses got put in a basket and got put by the river, and Moses was just fine, man. Right. Moses was just fine. Moses didn't get a toy car and all of those things. He got put by the river, man.
God.
Animals and all kinds of stuff. And Moses ended up being the meekest man on the face of the earth. The reason your children ain't meek is because you baby them and believe that they must have everything, man. Right. You baby them and believe your children is the only children on earth, and they should have every toy, and they should have everything that they've ever desired. And anything my children ask me for, I give it to them. That's terrible poor parenting, man. That's poor parenting. There comes a time in life when you have to tell your children no, man. There comes a time in life when you have to tell. It's like like this menorah for me. I should just light it here. Listen, man, the lighters that we have is to light the menorah. It's not for weed, man.
Not for that.
Not for weed. It's not for no spliff. It's not for no, what's the new names for it? Cali Bud, all these weird names they have for it. The light you see here is to light the menorah. So look here. We don't smoke weed in here. Now, what to do? You could, yeah. What you do is just light one, and then you just light the rest of them with that one. Science, you see. It's called science. So yeah, if one's letting you light the rest, it's called science. So, it's physics, Jay. Physics, there you go. So, So yeah, man, you don't have to give your children everything. All of this Christmas presents and everyone's shopping like crazy, man. And all the things you're buying, guess what happens, man? January, it goes on sale, man. There's a thing called January sales. There's a thing called January sales, man. You buy your kids all these presents, this wrapping paper, unwrap all these presents, and it goes on sale in January anyway. What you've just spent £200 on today will be in January sales for about £90 in less than a week later. And they know this. They know this, man. But give me Jeremiah chapter 10 and 1 before I go into the main part of my topic. So we're gonna get into how house slaves operated during Christmas, and how the field slaves during Christmas, and what they would do, and what life was like for them during Christmas. So we're gonna go into all of those kind of things, and then afterwards we're gonna go into these things called the elves. The elves, you know, the elves that Santa has. We're gonna go into these 12 little elves and these elves, all this nonsense. So we're gonna hopefully we got enough time to go into both of them. But go ahead.
Jeremiah 10 verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
Do what?
Learn not the way of the heathen.
The Bible says, learn not the way of the heathen, man.
That's right.
And we've learned the way of the heathen for far too long, man.
Right.
We've learned the way of the heathen for far too long. All these things, Christmas, Easter, this is the way of the heathen. This is ancient practices that they did. This is old practices that they did. And then every so often, what do? They revamp it and then give it to you like it's something new. Oh, it's Jesus' birthday. Well, they were celebrating this way before Jesus existed, man. Right. Before he existed, they were celebrating this. They had these trees, man. They set up these trees and was bringing presents, man. And a lot of Christians know these things, but because they've been doing it for so long, they just say, well, I'm going to keep doing it now. There comes a time where once you know better, you do better. So you're meant to know better, and you're meant to say, you know what? Robbie was lied to about this Christmas thing. I'm done with that garbage. I'm done with that BS. That's what you're supposed to be like, man. But what happens? We still want to celebrate it. Go ahead.
And be not dismayed.
And be not dismayed. Go ahead.
At the signs of heaven.
And now people's dismayed at the signs of heaven. People see certain things going on in the sky. To see the moon and the stars. And they was dismayed. They was like, oh my God, this means the world's going to end in June. This means the world's going to end June 12th and 2012 and all of them things. They was dismayed. Go ahead.
God on Khan at the signs of heaven.
So now the scriptures is what? Giving you courage, man. Telling you don't be dismayed at the sign of heaven like these other people are. Because these other nations is dismayed at these things. So they're afraid. And they sell all their possessions and believe, well, I'm not going to need it because the world's going to end. There's tons of people that thought the world was going to end in 2012. And what did they do? Sold up their homes, ran up debts, because they believe, okay, I'm going to be raptured. And this was 2012. 2013, they were still here, man. Correct. 2014, the world's still spinning and we're still here. 2015, we're still here. The Bible says no man knows the day or the hour but God himself, man. That's right. Christ don't even know. What makes you think your pastor's going to know? What makes you think some random man that's going to know? Too much people's been reading Nostradamus, believing Nostradamus is a prophet, and he predicted this and he predicted all of those things. Listen, man, all of that is just nonsense, man. That's right. Don't let these white philosophers fool you and me. And people watch The Simpsons and believe, well, Simpsons have made a few correct predictions. Maybe this prediction is going to be correct. Listen, man, The Simpsons is a cartoon and nothing more than that. Right. Simpsons is just a good cartoon, nothing more than that. Go ahead.
Khan. For the heathen are dismayed at them.
For the heathen are dismayed at them, and the heathens are afraid of everything. And now what they've done is they've passed their fear onto us. What they're afraid of, they've now made us afraid of these things. Everything that they're afraid of, they've now made us afraid of these things. Now, there's all these programs like Paranormal Activity. and people believe it, man. People are afraid of paranormal activity, and they believe that the lights flicker on and off by themselves, and the knives come out the cabinet and throw themselves across the room, and the table's moving, and the fridge is opening, and you know all of that stuff's fake, right? You know it's fake. No, all of it's fake, and people actually believe it's real. People watch horror movies, and they believe that horror movies is real. They believe that all of these things is real. And honestly, all of these things is just a man with a wild imagination.
That's right.
You know where all them horror movies come from, right, Hekayan?
Can't.
Exactly. Give me the breakdown then. Where's it come from?
I can't give you the exact breakdown, but I know it's from what them Jewish man there, innit?
Nah, not even them. So now, where these, you see these horror movies where you see 1 minute there's someone in the house, someone sees them and then they disappear and then they're throwing things around the room and all of those things.
Okay, right.
What happened is these is things that people with mental health see.
Oh.
So people with mental health, they see things that ain't really there. They see knives being thrown around the room. They see the lights flickering, and they go to a doctor, and the doctor listens to them. And the man came up with an idea like, this sounds like a great horror movie. And that's why every horror movie you see the lights flickering.
Didn't even know that, you know.
Listen, man. This is why you got to get with me on the history, man. So
yeah.
This is why you got to get with me on the history, man. So
yeah.
So now the lights, if you've ever come across someone with mental health, they believe that this person's following me. Someone was climbing through my window last night. Somebody's out to get me. And in horror movies, what do you see? Somebody's out to get them. Somebody was in the house last night. The lights is flickering.
That's true, you know.
And in the movies, you will see all of that. And then that person snaps out of a dream and it's disappeared out of the blue. Now, if you speak to someone with mental health, these is the things that they see. It's called psychosis. I think that's the name. The name is called psychosis. So now, when you're going through a psychosis episode, what happens? You start to see illusions. You start to hallucinate, and then you start to see things that ain't really there. So then you will hear a noise, and the noise that you hear, you believe that's someone coming to get me. I can hear them. I've seen them. And then you start to think things in your mind, this person's coming to get me, and you process it so much that you start to believe it. You start to believe it. And then before you know it, you've got a beef with someone that ain't trying to get you. And then medical doctors hear these stories, and the movie directors hear these stories, and then they come up with these movies. The Blair Witch Project. Come up with these next movies where the Chucky doll's moving. All those kind of things. So you'll see a doll. To you, it's not moving, but to somebody who's having an episode, this doll is moving.
Right.
This doll is wrecking the house, and that's where all of those things come from. But go ahead. Where was we?
Verse 3, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
For the customs of the people are vain.
For the customs of the people are vain, meaning what? Their customs is worthless. Their customs is worthless and useless, and it's all garbage. Right. Their customs means nothing, man. Their customs doesn't forward you in your life. What their customs do is just hold black people back.
Right.
You find yourself following a holiday that has nothing to do with you. You find yourself following a tradition that has nothing to do with you. And these things predates Jesus Christ, man. And if December was his birthday, then why are you buying presents for your kids? I'm sure you buy presents for whose birthday it is. Your kid's birthday is December 25th. Why do they get presents if it's not? I thought birthdays was you bringing your gift to the man whose birthday it is. Why does your kid born in July get a present on December 25th?
Right.
So something ain't adding up there, man. Christmas is garbage. Read on.
Cut on console. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
So now back then, they would go and cut trees out of the forest. Back then, they would get real trees, evergreen trees. They would get them, they would cut them out of the forest. Now you just go to Argos and buy it. It comes in the box, and you put it on the little stand. Back then, they would actually go to the forest and get trees. Go ahead.
For the work of the hands of the workman with the axe.
For the hands of the workman with the axe, I believe a man that cuts down trees is called what? A lumberjack. I'm sure his name's today they call him a lumberjack. Go ahead.
Verse 4. They deck it with silver and with gold.
And that silver and gold that you put on the Christmas tree is today, it's tinsel. Back then, they was richer than you, so they would put real silver and gold on there. Nowadays, the best you can do is tinsel. You can just do the little tinsel, and you decorate the front of your house, and you have Santa on the roof, and you have the reindeers, and you have all of those kind of things. People decorate their house, and there's lights everywhere. I drive past some houses, and there's lights everywhere, man. There's a Santa on the roof with a sleigh. Imagine a man risked his life to go put that Santa on the roof, man. Listen, man. Imagine this. It's minus 3-4 degrees. The roof is icy, man. And there's a man that went up there to go put Santa on the roof. There's a man that went up there to go put Santa in a sleigh on the roof. All in the name of Christmas, man. And what you'll find about Christmas is what? These Edomites be nice to you this one time of the year. Everybody's merry. They say hello to you and they love you this one time of year. While in they pretend they love you this one time of year. And then what you'll find is after New Year, everybody goes back to being horrible to you again, man. Right. Everybody goes, like you see this time of year, you can be late to work and the managers don't mind. They'll be like, okay, no worries. Get here when you can. Listen, you try to be late on a normal day. Disciplinaries, man. Disciplinaries after disciplinaries. But this one time a year, all your bosses is nice to you. Everybody's in the office with their Christmas hats on. Listen, man, where I work, everyone has on their Christmas hats, and I'm looking at them like, damn, grow up, man. I'm thinking, just grow up. I'm saying, grow. Listen, man, Kotazar, I seen a black man in a Christmas hat, man. And I said to myself, well, damn, this man's wife has to be cheating on him, man. She has to be cheating on him. Because this man's running around in a... Listen, your wife ain't going to respect you if you're being soft, man. That's right. If you're being weak and soft, your woman ain't going to respect you, man. Right. Listen, you're meant to be the hardest nigga your woman knows, man. Listen, you're meant to be the most hardcorest nigga your woman knows, man. Listen, you better... Listen, in order for you to sound as hard as possible to your woman, you tell her that you can beat up Dangobar if you want to. Like it. You can't, but you tell her you can. You can't, but you tell her you can, just so she thinks you that little bit harder. You tell her that. Listen, you make her think you're as hard as could be, man. But as long as you're running around in a Christmas hat, she's not going to respect you, man.
That's right.
As long as you're doing matching pajamas, you've seen them. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of matching pajamas. A grown-ass man in matching pajamas, man. Yeah. Let me try and find a black family.
Yeah, that's the worst one, the black families,
First, so you see a grown black man in Christmas pajamas.
A onesie. You see him in a onesie, innit?
You see black man in a Christmas onesie. Let me see if you can spare this one. All right, this is it here. So now let me make it bigger.
It's embarrassing,
So this is it right here. This is what people do for Christmas. They put on the Christmas onesie. And look, man, your son is going to grow up soft, man.
Right. That's right.
Your son is going to grow up soft. One day your son's going to say to you, no, one day you're going to suspect that your son's gay. And you're going to be saying to your son, yo, so what about that girl there, man? When you're going to introduce a girl to me? And you're going to be trying to get your son to be interested in girls, and he's just not going to be interested, man. Right. He's not going to be interested. Because why? All this onesie garbage, man. Right. Be hardcore, man. So your sons can see, yo, my dad's rough, man. So your sons can see, yo, my dad doesn't have no bitch in him, man. So your son can see, yo, I ain't seen there and seen my dad get punched up by my mom ever, man. Imagine the son, you see your dad getting punched up by your mom, man. Imagine that.
Hey, Salakia.
Go ahead.
Is it a spirit that they put on when they wear that kind of shit there? Salakia, my language. But when they put that kind of clothes on, is it a spirit? That's a spirit they're putting on, right?
They put on a soft, feminine spirit, man.
Okay, calm.
A man is emasculated when he does that. You know why? Because we don't know, man, care enough about Christmas to put on a Christmas outfit and take a picture. Really, that all day, the woman's forced him to take the picture. This is what she said. Look, he ain't even gotten a real smile. There ain't even a real smile on his face. Look. That man's could be. Sorry, say that again, Hakian.
He's embarrassed.
Exactly. He don't want to be in that picture. But she's probably said, if you don't take this picture, no sex tonight, man.
You ain't getting none tonight.
None tonight. That's what she said to him.
Yeah, we kidding though.
And he said, damn, I need that tonight. He said, damn, it's been a while. I need that tonight. And what did he do? Put his foot in the onesie, man. And pulled it up over his shoulders and buttoned it up, man. Right. And took the picture. Don't do these things, man. Your kids lose respect for you and you don't even know it.
That's
your kids
right.
lose a ton of respect for you, man. Everything that you do, your kids see. Your kids look at it. Your kids want to know how you handle situations, how you handle their mom's mouth. Just imagine you're a son. Imagine you're a son, and every day you're seeing your dad getting punched up by the mom and emasculated, and she's throwing things at him, kind of things. And you're a boy, and then you're growing up. You're gonna think it's normal for that behavior to happen. You're going to be like, well, damn, being a man means I must just be abused by women. You don't want to raise your sons that way, man. Right. Your sons learn best by example, man.
Can't.
In your house, you're supposed to be the man that wears the trousers. All of this, she wears the trousers. That saying, I hear that saying, happy wife, happy life. Like men just cower down and bow their head and accept whatever's there. Men just cower down and say, you know what? Her happiness matters more than mine. Black man, what about your happiness, man? Right. Don't your happiness matters. Happy wife, happy life. Listen, man. Don't do everything that she wants to make her happy, which leaves you miserable.
God.
Sometimes you have to stand on your 2 feet and say, "Nah, I ain't doing that." Yeah. She wants a bag, you ain't getting that bag. Right. She wants Christmas presents, we ain't having no Christmas tree in the house. That's right. Now, if it's her property, and she puts it in there and you tell her not to, then that's her problem. You just make sure you don't put no presents underneath it. You just make sure you don't put on no onesie or none of those. Because sometimes, obviously, your woman will go against your orders. Sometimes you'll say to your woman, you ain't having no Christmas tree. What she'll do? She'll have a Christmas tree and hide it from you. Every time you come around, she's plugging it out. She's plugging it out. She's hiding the tree from you. And so one day you see a picture and you see the tree in the back, and you're like, well, you told me you didn't have a tree. And then more than likely she's going to sit down with some of her friends who's going to convince her to leave you anyway. Yeah. That nigga's broke. He just can't afford presents. Yeah. That nigga's broke. He just can't afford gifts. What? He don't want to take you out for your birthday. Yeah. He don't do it. Another man will. And her single bitter bitches friends, them single bitter women, is going to ruin her relationship, man. Right. And she's going to leave you, and you're gonna probably be hurt in the beginning, but guess what's going to happen? You're serving the Lord, and she's not, man. You're serving the Lord. Your life can only get better with her. She's going to realize that her friend made her lose a good thing, man. She's going to realize years down the line, her friend made her lose a good thing. Guess what? All you wanted her to do is not celebrate Christmas, not celebrate Easter, and she couldn't not do that for you. But now the next man she's gonna get with, this man's gonna give her drugs. This man's probably gonna be some child molester she's dating, some drug dealer, some drug addict. This man's gonna hide guns in her house and all of them things. This next man she gets with is gonna ruin her, and her friends is gonna say, you know what? The last man you was with was better. And you're going to see her. And guess what? By the time you do see her, you're probably going to have 2 or 3 new wives. And you're going to forget that she ever existed until you see her. And then you're going to be like, damn. She's going to be the story that you tell your new wives. Don't be like her because she had a good man and she fumbled the bag. And now look at her. She's single, all alone. Or the man she's with is knocking her teeth out. The man she's with, she's living in one of them women's refuges in one of those places. And she's going to be the story that you tell your other wives. Don't be like this woman, man. She's going to be one of these women that we speak about in class. Don't be like this woman. So, Lucky Hakim, was you going to say something?
God, I was just going to say, it's an indirect way of, or if I may ask, is it an indirect way of prostitution when the friends are actually saying, leave this Negro or this nigga, he ain't got nothing for you. Go to him who's got money and make it. Is that, would you say that's an indirect way of prostitution?
In other words, what you just want to say is she's a whore, because saying indirect way of prostitution, it becomes too confusing, but it is prostitution when they're doing things for money.
Right,
so,
okay.
I think if you let her know she's a whore, that will hurt more than calling her a prostitute. Because nowadays, women will say, "Well, everybody else is on OnlyFans, everybody else is on this, everybody else is on that." So you want to let her know, listen, you're jumping from me to the next man, you're a whore.
That's right.
She will get the point. Like while it is, sometimes when you're arguing with a woman, sometimes you have to sit back and realize the argument ain't even what she's arguing about. Sometimes you have to tell her a few home truths. I mean, you can call her, you need to call her, but sometimes you need to tell her some home truths, man. How you don't cook, you don't clean, you don't do nothing a woman's supposed to do. What have you ever done for me? Listen, ask her, what have you ever done for me, man?
That's right.
Apart from giving me a headache. What have you done for me apart from giving me a headache? You don't cook, you don't clean, you don't do none of these things. And those that too, and these things stick with them a lot longer, like, because in their mind, they know what you're saying is true. They know that they don't cook, they know that they don't clean, they know that they don't do none of them things. You almost want it to enter their brain and echo in their head. You want her to almost at night when she's sleeping, she's hearing in her head, don't clean, don't clean, don't clean, don't clean. You want it to echo in her head. Echo in her head, don't cook, don't cook, don't cook, cook, don't cook, don't cook. You want it to echo in her head. So much that she realizes the only way to fix the problem is what? By starting to do womanly duties, man. The only way you fix it is what? When someone's telling you don't do enough of something, the only way to fix it is start doing it.
That's right.
That will live in her head longer, because why? If she does leave you and gets with the next man, she's gonna say to the next man, why did you split up with you? Why did you split up with your last man? He's gonna be like, oh, he said I don't cook, I don't clean. And in this man's mind, he's gonna be thinking, what is saying? Eventually, this man's gonna say to her, what your last man said was true. Eventually, he's gonna say, yo, what your last man said was true. And then she's gonna eventually realize that she's the problem. But where was we?
So we're at Salakia, we're at verse 4.
I don't know how we started talking about women. Salakia, I don't know how we got to that. But go ahead.
I think it's to do with the family thing you was seeing.
I was wondering how we got here. Salakia.
Yeah, they fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not.
So now they'll take it. They'll fasten it with hammers and nails, that it moves not. So they'll bolt it all up, because obviously it was a real tree, and then to fasten it so it don't fall over, which lets you know there was no life in this thing, because it can't stand up by itself. So they had to fasten it. They had to make it stand up. Go ahead.
Verse 5. They are upright as a palm tree.
Go ahead.
But speak not.
So these trees, they're upright, but they don't speak. So it's letting you know they don't speak right, because people believe Nimrod's spirit was in the tree. They believe the spirit of Nimrod lived in this tree. And they believe that if I didn't bring presents to this tree, I'm going to be punished. I'm going to be cursed. So now, because Nimrod died, this was their way of always remembering him. And they do these things till this day. Every time some celebrity dies, they make them a god. And they done this with Nimrod. Every year, bring gifts to Nimrod. If you want a good life, if you want to be happy, Kind of today, like your woman, you have to bring her gifts if you want her to be happy. It's kind of similar. Nowadays, it's like you get cursed if you don't bring nobody presents nowadays. If you refuse to celebrate Christmas and birthdays, your family start looking at you like you're weird. Whereas I thought we was free to celebrate what we want and what we don't want. Man, but the weirdest thing for me is what? Seeing Muslims buying wrapping paper, man. Seeing it. Listen, how can I seen a Somalian with the headscarf on talking about, yeah, can I have this wrap for Christmas? I was like, damn. The whole world celebrates Christmas, man. Right. Except us in the ISUPK, man. Right. We don't celebrate Christmas in here.
Right.
To us, it's just a day off. You see what that day is for us? It's a day for a lion. That's right. That's what it is, man. Right. It's a day for a lion where you wake up at 2 p.m. That's it. It's a day for a lion. We don't give a damn about Christmas, man.
That's Christmas. Right.
And you know what the thing about it is? We got kids too. I know kids, I tell them every year Christmas is garbage. And they don't care. They don't care about it. The thing is, it's just so normal in the house not to celebrate Christmas that they don't even ask much questions about it. They just know why we don't celebrate Christmas. Because it's garbage. They don't ask about it. They don't care about it. Read on.
Come. They must needs be born.
Now that means to be carried. So now it's letting you know there's no life in this tree. It doesn't talk. And this tree has to be carried. You have to pick it up, throw it over your shoulder. Or even when you buy the tree don't walk to your house. You get the tree delivered. You pull it up in the corner of your living room. You decorate it and all of them things. Go ahead.
Come. Because they cannot go.
Because what?
Because they cannot go.
And we're afraid of these things, and these things cannot go. These things can't walk. They can't do nothing. Now, people believe Nimrod's spirit was in the tree. And if you don't bring presents to it, then you're doomed. When that's not the case, this is just a tree that they cut down, and that's it. This is just a tree. That's it. What trees do for humans is what? It just helps you breathe and sucks up all the water and stuff. That's what trees do. They don't do nothing more than that. Just gives you wood and all of those kind of. It does nothing more than that. It don't kill you. It doesn't walk. It don't come and stifle you in your bed. None of those things. But the Christmas tree can kill you. Why? Because you have live electric, man. Right. And sometimes them trees set on fire, man. You're scared of this tree. If you're scared of the tree so much, don't have it at all, man. That's right. Listen, man. Or the electric running through your house. Sometimes you have the electric on and you're not at home. And then the trees get caught on fire, man. Hold on. Let me see if I can find one of the videos. Hold on.
If I may, sir.
Go ahead.
They say at Christmas, most of the deaths, more deaths happen on Christmas Day than they do normal days of the year.
That makes sense. Everyone's drunk and hold on. Everyone's drunk. The families all pretending to like each other. Listen, man, this year the ambulance crew are going on strike, right? They're going on strike, man. Listen, you don't want to be having them kind of emergencies.
Boy, so. Later. Later. Is that less than a minute or the one? That was less than a minute, right?
It says a dry tree can catch fire and burn faster than newspaper. From 2010 to 2012, there were an estimated annual average of 200 fires where the Christmas tree was the first item ignited, resulting in 10 deaths, 20 injuries, and 17 million in property loss. And that's all because people want to celebrate Christmas.
Right.
So, don't celebrate Christmas.
So what's catching that light then?
I think it could be the lights.
Okay.
So yeah, it could be the lights and everything, the sonic. So now, once it sets on fire, it starts to spread. And then before you know it, you've lost your whole house because you wanted to celebrate Christmas. They said 70 million in property. They said resulting in about 20 deaths. That's a year. So they said annually resulting in about 20 deaths. Which means you died because you wanted to celebrate a pagan holiday. We shouldn't celebrate them things, man. Go ahead.
Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good.
They can't do evil, they can't do good. Go ahead.
Khan. For as much as there is none like unto thee, O Lord, thou art great, and thy name is great in might.
All right, so now that's it on that. But they can't do evil, they can't do good. It's just the tree. They shouldn't put in your house. Obviously, Nimrod's spirit ain't in no tree. Nimrod's dead and gone. That's it. Nimrod's dead and gone. There's nothing in the tree. Don't believe all that garbage that they tell you. But now let me go into my topic. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 48. So now we're going to go into slave during Christmas.
So like 28 and 48, yeah. You ready, Captain? Yeah.
Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 28, 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger.
Now, during slavery, we served our enemies in hunger and in thirst. Now, you do know in slavery, the house slaves did what? They prepared Christmas parties for the slave masters, man. That's what the house slaves was doing. The house slaves was doing what? Preparing Christmas parties for the slave masters. And guess what would happen? The slave masters would what? Have their family around. They would all eat Christmas dinner. And what was you doing? You was cleaning up all the mess, man. You was cleaning up all the mess. And they would say to you, if you work hard, we'll let you celebrate Christmas. If you work hard, we'll give you a day off at Christmas. And what did these people do? They worked hard. Why? Because they wanted this day off. Read that from the top.
Khan, Deuteronomy 28, 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
And now, during this period, what did they have also? They had, you see like how in work you got managers' pets who reports everything back? Back then they had what? The house slaves that would report everything back. So now they would call it, the slave masters would call this division. They would be like, let us know who's not working hard and we'll give you a gift. So now they would divide the people. And one man wanted this present from his slave master so bad that he would do what? Be the manager's, be the slave master's pet. He would go the slave master everything. Why? Because he was thinking about himself. If he was smart, what would he do? He wouldn't be the slave master's pet. He would go back to the slave master and say, you know what? Everybody's working hard. That's what he would do. He would go and say, all of them are working hard. But what did he do? He went to the slave master and said, I don't think such and such should get to celebrate Christmas. So these slaves, they programmed them so much into wanting Christmas that they forced them to work hard. They forced them to work hard. If you don't work hard, you can't celebrate it. Listen, man. If it was people like me on the field, guess what would happen? We wouldn't be celebrating it anyway, man. We'll be like, I don't care about that one day. That one day is not going to undo all this injustice. That one day is not going to do all the crimes that you've done for the previous year. That one day ain't going to undo the whipping, the lynching, the murdering, the cane, the cotton I picked for the whole year. You giving me one day off ain't going to undo that, man. And don't let your slave master at your job, don't let the man at your job give you one day off for Christmas and you think, okay, he's a good manager because he brought us quality streets to the workplace. He brought us chocolates and Christmas hats. You think he's a good manager. Why? Because he lets you log out early because it's Christmas. Because he throws all of them parties in the office. You're thinking he's a good manager because he throws all them parties in the office. Listen, man. Don't let that nonsense fool you, man. Don't let these devils fool you, because they've been fooling us from the time of slavery, man. They've been fooling us from when we was on the cotton field, saying work hard and you can celebrate Christmas. Work hard and you will get a gift for Christmas. And black people being so poor, they wanted this gift, man. So they worked hard and hard and hard, and the gifts they got was usually garbage. Read that from the top.
Khan, Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore, shalt thou serve thine enemies.
And what they would do is, to some of the slaves, they would cancel Christmas for them for bad behavior. So some of the slaves, you wouldn't get to celebrate it, even though it's a pagan holiday anyway. But obviously, those people back then, they wouldn't have known. So now, most of them, the slave master, if he didn't like you, you wasn't celebrating it anyway. They would cancel it for bad behavior. And what would you have to do? You would have to beg to see your relatives. You see, on that one day, in one of all things, man, you'd have to go to them. You want to see your relatives who's on the next plantation? You'd have to beg your slave master. Even today, if you want to see your relatives in the next country and you need the time of work, what do you have to do? Beg your slave master, man. Oh, can I have time off? Can I do this? Can I do that? We have to go to them for everything. Give me that one. Give me that from the top one more time.
Khan, Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore, shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
And they shall serve thy enemies. And we served our enemies, man. Right. Imagine this. We were serving our enemies on that plantation so much that they're telling you, if you don't work hard, we're going to cancel this. If you don't work hard, we're going to cancel that. All of them stood up together and said, cancel this bullshit. Excuse my French. We should have cancelled this nonsense then. Right. We should have said, cancel this pagan holiday then. Obviously, you couldn't say that back then because obviously you'd be whipped half to death. But now we should never celebrate Christmas, man. That's right. Never, ever, ever. The way how they treat black people, why would we want to celebrate anything that they celebrate? Right. Everything that they celebrate, we should be suspect like them. I'm not celebrating that because I know how these devils are, man. These devils, I can't celebrate what they celebrate. This must be their holiday. Right. Imagine on their holiday, they're all relaxing, drinking wine. Guess what you're doing? You're sweeping up outside, man. You're greeting their family as they come. You're bowing down to all of them when they come. You're taking off that top hat and bowing down. You're singing and dancing. You're in the kitchen cooking their food. Did you know in slavery, the slave master was eating what? Turkey. And you was eating possum and squirrels. That's the difference, man. For Christmas dinner, they was eating turkey, man. With all the trimmings, the sprouts, the roast potatoes, the gravy, the stuffed the turkey. Well, you stuffed the turkey because you cooked it. And then imagine after making all that dinner, guess what your dinner's going to be? A possum. Right. Imagine that, man. We should never trust this slave master, man. That's right. We should never celebrate what he celebrates. Right. The audacity, you've slaved for him in the kitchen all them days. You'd think this man would say, okay, you can have some turkey tonight. You'd think this man could say, you can have some sprouts and carrots tonight. What you had was possum, squirrels, and pig's feet, man. Right. And pig's feet. Chitlins. And chitlins and all of them things, man. That's what we was eating. Is there anyone that can?
In hunger and in thirst and in nakedness.
In hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in slavery. Imagine all the cotton you picked, all the work you've done. Guess what the slave master would probably give you as a gift? The one time that happened during the year, underwear. That's all they'll give you, underwear. Listen, man, give a nigga freedom. Give him something that means something, man. Freedom at least, man. You will take that. You say, yeah, give us the freedom. But they'll just give you underwear, and then guess what happens? Back to work tomorrow for another year. Anyone that are there?
Yeah, I could just finish the verse if you like, sir.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Come. And in one of all things.
And in one of all things, you want a day off from work, you have to beg this oppressor. You want to go on vacation, you got to beg the oppressor. You want to do anything, you have to beg the oppressor. Imagine this. Quatazar, one time, I needed to book a holiday off work. I said, yeah, I need time off. I need a week off. This is what he said to me. What do you need a week off for? He said, what do you need a week off for? I said, listen, that's none of your business. What do I need a week off? Listen, I could have a week off to do nothing, man. I could have a week off to go underneath my bed and just lie there for a week. I can have a week off to start jumping in the back garden if I want. I can do whatever I want with my week off. How dare you ask me what do I need a week off for? That's right. To get away from you, man. That's what I need a week off for.
Right.
My week off is to get away from you. I want a year off to get away from you. I want a whole life off from this place to get away from you. But bills need to be paid, so we have to return back to work one day. Have the cheek to say what do you need the week off for? Like they govern our whole life. Right. Listen, man, you just have us from 9 to 5, and after that, leave us alone. Listen, I've never understood how work feels so comfortable. Phoning the nigga after he finishes his shift, right. Phoning him outside of work hours. Right. Listen, man, I don't even like listening to you when I get paid to listen to you. That's right. So what makes you think I want to listen to you in my time when I'm not getting paid to listen? Right. Leave me alone, man. Don't listen. Don't phone me out. Listen, just the other week, one of the managers texted me like when I was outside of work, can you give me a call? He almost asked with authority. He asked with authority, like, can you give me a call? I looked at it. I've come to work. He's like, I messaged you. I said, yo, I don't do work things outside of work.
That's right. That's right.
I said, listen, I got family and I don't think about work outside of work. Right. And he looked at me disappointed, man. Every time you go to these job interviews, they ask you, so why do you want the job? So why do you want the job?
Isn't it?
You bring to this job? Yeah, man, what am I supposed to say to you? I love stacking shelves in Tesco's and I see myself doing this when I was a child. When I was a child, there was something about them tins that I just love putting them on the counter. And I seen myself doing it, and that's all I want to be is on the stack shelves. And there's something about them tins of beans, I just like putting them on top of each other. Is that what they want us to say? What Blackman wants to say is, I couldn't give a shit about the job, I just want the money. That's right. I couldn't care about the job, I want the money. They want you to almost bow down and worship them for the job. Listen, man, we just want the money, man. That's right. I listen. We go on the website 5 minutes before the interview. We Google the business and see, okay, the business was established in the 1800s. Okay. We go in the interview because this business was established in the 1800s, and I've always listen, man. We don't really give a shit. We don't really care about. We don't care about none of that. We just have to pretend we do. Exactly, because I think I could do this for the brand. I think I could make the brand better than it is, and I'm a hard worker. This is the ask you. So tell me some stuff about yourself. Well, I'm a hard worker. I'm punctual. After that probation, I'm not punctual no more, so lucky. After that probation, if I start at 10, I'm leaving my house 9:57, man. I'm in traffic, so lucky. At the time, you have to lie to them because you have to tell them, listen, man, I'm punctual. I'm a team player. I get on with everybody. I'm 100% efficient, and I'm a team player. And if someone's struggling, I help them. And I've got great customer service. Listen, man. I've got one of them faces where don't talk. If you don't know me, don't talk to me, man. In the interview, I got great customer service, man. I got great customer service. But in the real world, once I get the job, I got that Kanye West face, man. Got that Kanye West face that don't talk to me, man. But you have to lie and act like, listen, man, it's a shame. These are the things that we have to do. Why? Because this man that rules over us, we have to go to him in one of our things, man. So much that what? We have to lie for a job. We have to go to a job interview and lie through our teeth, man. We have to go there dressed how we wouldn't usually dress, man. You go there, the shirt's pressed. There's not a crease in the shirt, man. Button to the top. So much that it's choking you. You got a tie on, all of those kind of things, man. And you have to go there. The first thing you do is, black men don't really do this. You see this devil come to you, you shake his hand. As soon as he comes, you shake his hand. Nice to meet you. You have to do all of that. You have to listen, man.
And you know them.
Go ahead.
It's lucky, and you know them devils don't like to wash their hand after the toilet, so you make sure you have the gel.
And you have to shake their hand and sit in the interview. Usually, I don't make them no coffee. You make them coffee. That's you to make them coffee.
No, when they ask you if you want to.
Yeah. You have to hold the cup in a different kind of way to how you usually hold it at home. You have to hold the cup with two hands like this. You have to take them small sips. You have to go with. You know, niggas don't carry a pen nowhere to go. This interview, you have to carry a pen, a notepad. Oh, sorry, can I just make a note of that? Listen, I'm scribbling lines like making no note. Also, what's the earliest shift times? Really, what I want to say is, what's the pay? That's all I want to ask. But obviously, you can't do that because I'm going to call you back. So you have to make out you're not worried about the pay. And it's a shame we live that life. Read that one more time from the top.
Khan, Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore, thou shalt serve thine enemies.
And this is all part of serving your enemies, man.
Right.
That the man interviewing you is half your age, man. Woman interview telling you, stop doing this, stop doing that. Listen, one time I was working with a brother, man. He was Haki, and he was at least 50, 55, man. And the little white girl was at least 22, and she was busting him around, man. And the man asked to go toilet. You guess what she said to him? That's what your break's for. You should have went toilet on your break.
What?
She said to him, that's what your break's for. You should have went toilet on your break.
I would have left, you know.
He said, nah, I said to him, go toilet. Don't make her say that to you. Like, you see what it is? It's like he was defeated. I had to kind of give him some strength. I had to say, yo, go toilet, man. Go. I said, don't make no one tell you can't go toilet. And then the man got the strength and he went to the toilet, man. And then she asked him, why did you go to the toilet when I said you can't? And then he said, I told him to go toilet. I said, yes. I said, yes. I said, yo, what's he meant to do? Stand there and wet himself in the name of a job? I said, yo, no one ain't stopping me from going toilet. Listen, let me go one further. I don't even ask to go toilet. I just go.
You just go.
You think I'm asking for you to say no? I'm going. I mean, imagine I need the toilet and you say no. I'm supposed to wet myself. Like what?
Salakia, if I may, is it not just a? Is it Salakia? Is it not just a normal basic human right?
So I can say that again.
Salakia.
Listen, how can I got that same flu? You see, mine starting off as a flu, and then it's turned into a cold somehow, and it's just not going. Every time I breathe, I feel like damn, something's killing me every time I breathe. So I can go ahead. What was you saying?
I was saying, it's a human basic. It's a basic human right to be able to go to the toilet. Exactly. They're trying to tell you can't. I mean, black people would be better if they had knowledge, right, on things like this. You know what I mean?
And you're so right when you say that. And this is why at jobs they can sack black people unfairly because they know that we ain't gonna fight for a job. They know that we don't know how the handbook works. They know we don't know the rights of what we can and can't do. So now when you're dealing with the people who don't know their rights, then you can just do anything to them. Like, we don't know our rights so much that a job can say to us, you know what, this is your last shift, don't come back tomorrow. Not realizing before they fire you, there has to be a process. Before they fire you, there has to be a process, there has to be meetings, there has to be a ton of things. But we don't know. We just think, okay, because he said it, it means something. Whereas usually there's someone higher than the person that you work with. They usually have a head office. When you go there, what you want to do when you go to any workplace, you want to have all the head office email addresses. Because one time I put in a list, man, I was working with some heathen, man. And them heathens couldn't stand me, man. And they wanted to fire me. They were saying to people, whenever you see him do something wrong, let us know because we need to get him gone. So obviously they know that black people usually fly off the handle. So they know usually what a black man would usually do is put hands on them. So I said, all right then. I said, let me play the game, man.
Right.
I got all the email addresses. I put in a grievance, man. How can I put in a grievance, man?
Right.
I got a sick note.
Damn right.
One of the big managers called me in for an interview. And the guy is there. I said, yo, the bullying me, you know. I said, yo, I'm depressed and them things there. So now we're sitting in the cafe. The big boss is ordering everyone coffee. He's brought coffees and hot chocolates and stuff. And we're all on the table. So they're all eating. Guess what? The big man, he just gone to me, yeah? And you're not going to drink the coffee and eat the biscuits. I said, I'm sorry, I can't. I said, I'm depressed. I haven't been eating. I said, I haven't been eating, man.
Well done, man.
And all of them looked at me like, damn. And then the man, it was like, are you ready to return back to work? I said, no. I said, I'm not ready to return back to work. I phoned the doctor. I got another sick note, man. A next sick note on top of that. And then when it was time for me to return back to work, guess what happened? The guy got the sack the day before I came back, man.
Really? Most in
Yeah, I
Christ.
got the sack the day before I came back, man.
Most in Christ.
And then I walked into work, and then you know what all of them heavers were saying? He's not really depressed, man. He's just milking it. There's nothing wrong with him. And then in the interview, I brought up all of that. Haki, and I said, listen, man, depression doesn't have a look.
That's right.
I said, if depression had a look, male suicide wouldn't be so high.
That's true. That's heavy. That's heavy.
I said, listen, if depression had a look, male suicide would be so high.
That's heavy.
And everyone's looking at me shocked. They're looking at me like, how's this guy know how to speak so well? They're looking at me like, it's because I'm ISUPK, man.
That's right.
That's why I know how to speak so well.
Yeah.
I walked out of there. You see, as I was walking out of there, I tried to hide the smile as I'm walking out. They're probably just in the smile from behind, but I walked out of there happy, like, yeah. I went in there.
So, yeah.
All the cards on the table, so I could go ahead.
That was heavy what you done there, though. That was heavy. So, you basically switched it around in your favor, right?
And that's how you have to do it. You see, I realized with the white man, you got to play his game. Because what will happen is, the easy way is to what?
Fly off the handle.
The easy way is to punch him up. And then, you know, once you do punch him up, guess what happens? You're happy for 5 minutes, and then the police come and lock you up. 5 minutes, the police come and lock you up. This man presses charges. This man's going to make sure you never get a job ever again. This man will make sure you lose any chance of getting a decent job. For you getting angry for 5 minutes, for you having that emotional 5 minutes. What you have to do with these devils is you play the game, man.
That's
Right.
They always play the bullying card at work. You play the bullying card too.
That's right.
You
That's
play it
true.
too, man. You phone ACAS, say, yo, I'm being bullied at work. What advice have you got for me? ACAS will give you advice. If you got a work union, try to get a work union also. Because once you got a union, most workplaces know they can't fire you. Why? Because you might not know the law, but your union does. So as long as you don't do nothing crazy, then they can't really fire you, man.
Right.
So now we have to play their game. Because like I said, you could go punch your manager in the face all day long. What's that gonna get you? Just arrested. And that's all it's gonna get you is arrested. And then you're gonna have to go to court, and then you're gonna be mad at the end of the day. Whereas if you maintain your composure, you just go phone your doctor and get a sick note. And once you get a sick note, everyone starts to be afraid of you at work. You know why? Because they'll be like, oh, we can't say nothing to him because he will just go get a sick note. That's what they'll say. So we can't say nothing to him. He will just go call his union. like while you want them at work to be afraid, like, oh, because I've realized most of these workplaces, these people think they can do certain things in front of you. They think they can do certain things in front of you. Why? Because you're black. And they be like, yo, black people don't snitch. So I can do anything in front of black people. What you'll find is you go to Tesco, if the cashier is Asian and the white person in front is getting served is polite with them, when it comes to you, start speaking of slang and road and all of those kind of things.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that too?
Can't answer. Definitely. Man tried to talk some proper patois 2 days ago. Yeah, some Indian man, you know.
Yeah, they do it. And it's because they don't respect us. When it comes to white people, they change and they call them sir. When it comes to you, they think, okay, my man looks black and ghetto. Let me speak ghetto to him.
Yeah.
I want the same respect you give the white man. I want the same respect you give the white man.
Right.
One time I went into the shop, man, and the Indian man's trying to talk patois to me. He's like, what, this and that. I'm looking at him like, yo, what if I start speaking some Urdu?
Right.
What if I start speaking some Urdu?
That's right, you know.
I do the light bulb dancing and start twisting my hand like this and put the music in the background.
Right.
Start doing that, man. You're gonna call me racist, man. When they're being racist towards us, and while it is, Well, it is we've gave them a pass for far too long. We've gave them a pass for far too long, man. From today, all them passes have been revoked. So
That's right.
All them, you talking Patrick to a black, them passes have been revoked. All of them, you speaking to us in a rude kind of way. Today it's been revoked, man. You better give us the same respect you give the white man. You better call us sir and our women madam, man.
If I may, so
go ahead.
What would you say to anybody listening? Like, if a Pakistani or an Indian started to talk that language, what would you advise we say, being a member of the UPK, you know, and how we conduct ourselves? How would you address that?
I would say you tell them what you're doing is very racist, it's very offensive.
Most High Christ.
Very racist, it's very offensive, it's very stereotypical. I don't know who you used to dealing with, but I don't appreciate what you're doing. And furthermore, where's your manager? And you put in a complaint. I came into the store and this man started speaking Patois to me. And guess what? I don't even speak Patois because I was born in England. So why is he speaking that to me? And he was polite to the white people that was in front of me. You put in a complaint, you run it up the chain. Obviously, you probably don't get much, but they'll probably give you a gift card. And that employee probably be disciplined. Because now what needs to happen is we need to set the standard. So what? We need to let them know, look, you're not going to speak to us like that, so they don't think to do it to the next black man. That's weak to stop them from doing it.
That's right. That's
what you find is other black people will just laugh with them. Now, we need to set the standard, so next time they think about doing it, they have to look and think, oh yeah, I tried it with that last black man and it wasn't a funny, he didn't find it. I'm not going to do that again because a black man didn't find it funny. So if we all find it funny, his path was so good. His path was so good. What's going to happen is they're going to keep disrespecting us, man.
Right.
We want to make this place a safe haven for our women and children, man. I don't want my wife coming home saying, yeah, I went into the shop. I went into the shop to get the meat that you sent me to get. Remember you told me to get you some curry goat. I went into the shop and the man started speaking patois to me. That's disrespectful, man.
That's right.
How would he feel if I spoke to his woman in like that, man, in a language that they speak? How would he feel? He would be offended, man. Only can you offend black people. In this place, you can offend black people, and they don't want black people to have a voice, man. They don't want black people to speak up and have a voice. Listen, we're gonna speak up, man. You're gonna stop offending us.
Right.
We're coming to your stores. You're gonna treat us with respect.
Right.
I'm gonna call us sir. You're gonna give us our change in our hand properly, man. That's what you're gonna do. You're not gonna be on none of this wagwan blood. I'm not no blood to you. And
that's right.
Tell me wagwan. This is what you're gonna say to me. Have a good day, sir. What you're gonna say to me is, good morning, sir. Would you like a bag? That's what you're gonna say to me. You're gonna see me doing my Asda shopping. You're gonna say, good morning, sir. Would you like a bag? That's what you're gonna say, man.
Right.
And I'm gonna say, well, where else am I meant to put the shopping on my head? Give me a goddamn bag. That's what I'm gonna say.
Right.
I'm gonna say, am I meant to put the shopping on my head? Nah, I'm joking. Don't be rude for no reason, but obviously,
I hear you.
Obviously, you don't be rude to people for no reason, but he's meant to say, good morning, sir. Would you like a bag? That's it. Not just, yo, wagwan blood. The bags are, I've been in Tesco and it's happened too many times, man. I've been in one of the. So I can say that again, Hakian.
Lucky, sir. That's what happened the other day in Birmingham, you know. And the man started to talk to me on the phone, right? In the hotel, I was booking the hotel. This man was trying to talk to me like he's from Road. You know what I mean? And it was a black man too, you know.
You see, because there's a black man.
Yeah.
Give him a pass.
Give him a black.
Yeah, I couldn't give him a pass because it's a black man. Because usually, when a black man's at work and he speaks to another black man, sometimes you're happy to hear it's a black man. Like, you've been speaking white for the whole day, and then when you see your brother, you feel like, yo, I can be myself.
Right, I hear you.
So what you want to do is you want to give your brothers a pass.
Right, I hear you.
One time they sent me all the way to work some far place, and I was working around Edomites. Listen, man, I seen one black man there. Listen, Haki, and I was happy, man. I was happy to be. I've been shaking these devils' hands over there, seen the brother. How can you see as soon as I seen the brother?
Fist him.
I've gone like this to firms him. At first, the brother's gone like this.
You don't know. Yeah.
I almost flashed him like, get out, man. Almost flashed him and but then I got speaking to the brother, and obviously he was a brother, but he was like one of them.
Right, I hear you.
He lives amongst them. So not every black person you meet, do you want to just be letting out extra blackness around them? Because some of them will go to the manager and say, yo, Hacky Youngster, he ain't doing no work because this is a white man's establishment. Some of them will go to the manager and say that. So
yeah,
you got on these slaveries, when you do meet your brothers and whatnot, you kind of got to pick the ones who you speak to like that. Like there's like that. Like some of the brothers I work with, obviously they understand. They'll be like, "Yo, we ain't doing this white man work today." That's what they'll be saying. Right. They'll be like, "Yo, we ain't doing this white man work today." Listen, man, they'll be sending one of them be sending me UPK tapes saying, "Yo, this is hard. This is hard." So yeah, you kind of got to know, obviously, who you're gonna be amongst when you're on your slave. But what scripture was we at?
Deuteronomy 28, 48. Yeah.
Did we finish that one?
Can't, sir.
Yeah, give me Deuteronomy 28 and 32.
Can't. Deuteronomy 28 and 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
And now during Christmas time when we was in slavery, our sons and our daughters was given unto another people. Was given unto another people as gifts to put a bow on them, and that would be this person's Christmas present. Now that child of yours, to you is your child. To you, it's your child that you love so much. But to this man, it's just a nigger, it's just a slave. It's just someone that comes in Tesco that I can be rude to. It's just someone that comes in the shop I can be rude to. That's all we are to these people. It's somebody that they can be rude to. So now, your sons and your daughters was given to another people. And during that time, what would parents do? They would commit suicide, man. They would commit suicide. Why? Because imagine you've got a child you love so much. And what you love so much is just a gift that someone gives to somebody else. They don't care about the pain that you're going to experience. They don't care about the hurt that you're going to experience. They don't care about what you're going through. They don't care that you nurtured this child from birth, and this child is a part of you, looks just like you, has the same mannerisms, the reason you wake up and smile every morning. That's what your child is to you. But to a police officer, your child is just a nigger. That's what your child is to a police officer. To a slave officer, your child is just a nigger. And that's what your child is to these people. So to you, what you love so much and what you care about so much, to them, your child's life doesn't matter. And that's why they would give your child away as a gift.
So lucky.
No, sir.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
Fail longing for them all the days of your life, and you'll be wondering, am I getting my child back? You'll be like, Master, please, no. You'll be like, Master, please, no. Trying to hold on to your child. Your child's crying, knowing they're not going to see you again. You're crying. Two devils will come hold you back. You see your child getting smaller and smaller in the distance. Your child is going to another slave master, man. As a father, imagine seeing your daughter being taken away to give to another family. And you know these devils love to rape everything, man. Imagine you're having sleepless nights at night, can't sleep, crying, stressed, thinking about what's happening to my daughter, what's happening to my son. This is a time before Instagram. This is a time before a sat nav when you could just type in the internet and find out where people are. This is a time before you both had phones, you could text each other. No. Once your child is gone, your child was gone, man. And that's what these devils would do. And now we want to celebrate Christmas with them. Now we want to celebrate their holidays. And this is why we celebrated the Hanukkah so much when we were singing and dancing, man. We celebrate that. Why? Because Greeks died, man.
That's right.
White men and white people died, man.
Right.
Coming up against God's people. And that's what we were celebrating the other day. And you're going to come and tell me I must celebrate some garbage Christmas. Christmas kills black people, man. Right. Christmas, sons and your daughters were sold. And that's what we must celebrate with these same people. Right. We want to celebrate the Feast of Dedication when black people was free, man.
That's right.
We want to celebrate the Feast of Purim where black people was free, man. Don't ever ask us what do we celebrate in here, man. Don't ever ask us why don't we celebrate Christmas in here. Because we ain't a sellout like you, man.
That's right.
We ain't a sellout like you. In this place, we truly love black people and you hate black people, man.
Right.
How can you celebrate Christmas when when your ancestors were sold and enslaved and beat and raped, man?
Right.
The amount of daughters that got raped on Christmas night, man. The slave master would have a couple shots of whiskey and rape everything, man.
Right.
And that's what you want to celebrate. How can we celebrate something that people give us, which is so cruel to us, man?
Right.
Understand this. A people that's been so cruel and horrible to us, we shouldn't celebrate anything they give us. What verse you at?
32, sir.
Read that again.
Quran Khan, Deuteronomy 28:32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
It says thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, man. And this is what happened. We had our sons and daughters. They were sold. They was given to other Edomites, man, on other plantations to pick cotton, all of those kind of things. Go ahead.
Quran Khan, sir. Another people. And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
Fail, and imagine black people couldn't do nothing. They had no might, no strength. And it lets you know that a ton of them committed suicide, man. Tons of black people committed suicide or self-mutilation, meaning they would inflict harm on themselves. Why? Because that was the only way they could, in their mind, that was the only way they could truly show their pain. That was the only way they could truly show their hurt. Obviously, black people's tears don't mean nothing to the white man. Black people's tears don't mean nothing, man. But then when they die, they expect us to cry, man. They expect us to cry. Listen, man, Quattazar, them 4 kids on the lake the other day, them Edomites, they wanted black people to cry for that, man.
If that's a luck, yeah.
Exactly. I'm crying for the black children that got sold into slavery, man.
That's right.
I'm crying for that.
That's right.
I'm not crying for them kids that self-inflicted it themselves by going on the lake, man.
Right.
Yeah,
That was a choice. It was a choice.
Right.
Listen, man, we wouldn't even be able to go on no lake. Why? Because we shackled in chains and all of them things, man.
Right.
That's freedom where they can go on the lake, man. That's freedom that black people don't have, man. We don't have that type of freedom. We in chains and all of them things. And they sell our children. They sell our babies. And now they want us to cry for their children, man. Listen, man. They was harming us so much in Egypt. And then guess what? Once the chickens came home to roost and the firstborn in Egypt died, they let out a great cry, man. There was not a cry heard like that in Egypt, man. So I can find me that one quite as well. That one might be in the Apocrypha. Hold on, let me see if I can find it as well. Is it that one?
Can't. It's a luck, yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
When the Bible say, happy they shall be when they dash their kids, their infants against the rocks, yeah? That's serious, you know. It's telling us to be happy, right? We're going to be happy.
Exactly. Because they've been doing it for years. Imagine this. They've been bashing our heads in and nobody cries. It might be Exodus 11 and 6, I think. Yeah, give me that one, Quatzar. Actually, give me Exodus. Is it Exodus 12 and 30? Hold on.
30.
Is it that one? Hold on.
Yeah.
No, that one. What was the other one as for as well? The other one was give me 11 and 6 as well. Get me 11 and 6 first, I think.
Exodus chapter 11 and verse 6. And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt.
And there's a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, man. And the time's coming when this white man's going to have to cry, man.
Right.
Now he's happy. There's a saying, laugh now, cry later, man. Let him laugh at the moment, man. Let him laugh and drink his whiskey. But the time's coming when there's going to be a great cry, man. Right. Same like there was in Egypt. What? When we was dying in Egypt, nobody cried. When we was hurt in Egypt, nobody cried.
Right.
When we was hurt, distraught, crying, nobody cried, man.
That's right.
While the Lord caused a great cry in Egypt, man.
Right.
And was never one like it before or after. Read that again.
And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt.
And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, man. Go ahead.
Such as there was none like it.
Such as there was none like it. And it's only right these other nations cry, man.
Right.
Because we cry, nobody hears us, man.
That's right.
Nobody understands the pain of losing a child, man. Nobody understands the pain of going into captivity until they actually go through it, man. Then they're gonna be like, damn, we know what you black people went through, man. They're gonna be like, damn, this slavery is rough.
Right.
All the problems that we suffer with, they're gonna suffer with them, man.
That's right.
They make out that black people are just angry for no reason. They make out like we're angry and we just choose violence for no reason. You devils have made us this way, man.
That's right.
Made us this way, man. Just look at what you've done to us. How you expect us to be happy? Listen, you're happy right now because you ain't gone through nothing. Understand this. They make out black people join gangs and do criminal activity for no reason. Listen, when white people was poor and oppressed, what did white people create? The mafia, man. The mafia up of Italians being poor and oppressed, man. And what did they create? Whatever the what's the family called? What's the family called in there? The Banaghi, the Gambino family. Lucky Luciano and Al Capone. That's what you create when you're oppressed, man, and you didn't even go through what we went through.
Right. And
you created the mafia, and they created all this racketeering and killing and selling illegal alcohol. Listen, man, off a little bit of oppression, that's what they did. Imagine when they're going through what we going through. Then you're gonna see what these devils is truly made of, man. Then you see how disgusting these devils can be once they go through a quarter of what we went through.
Right.
They created a mafia, man. They created 5 families that just go around killing people, man. Go around robbing and killing. And that's what they created out of oppression. And they make out like we're just angry for no reason. So, like, what you holding for me there, Hakian?
Deuteronomy 28:32.
Is there any more on that? Or nah?
Sir.
All right, give me Psalms 137 and verse 3.
Come on, come. Psalms 137, verse 3. It's lucky.
Hold on one second. Let me get there.
Okay.
Listen, how can you see from my flu the other day? Listen, I took some rum in it. I took some. Obviously, you don't know that I don't drink. I took some rum. Listen, I couldn't get out of the bed, Hakian. I tried. I couldn't get out of the bed. You see, my mind. Part of the time, my mind I got out of the bed, but in real life, I didn't get out of the bed. In my mind, have you ever got out of the bed in your mind, but in the real world, you ain't got out of the bed? Listen, in my mind, I climbed out of the bed, but in the real world, I didn't get out of the bed. So lucky this. Listen, this flu's starting now, so I'm telling you. Give me a. Give me Psalm
137, verse 3, sir.
Come, go ahead.
For they that carried us away captive required of us a song, and they that wasted us.
And during slavery, they required of us a song, and during Christmas, they required of us a song as well. You do know at these white men's Christmas parties, the slaves was the entertainment, right? The slaves was the entertainment. They would do the singing, the dancing. They would sing the Christmas carols. The slaves would dress up in costumes. All the white people would be sitting there holding their wine glass with their two, how they hold it with 2 little fingers to hold their wine glass like that. And the black people was performing, singing and dancing, man.
Right.
They were singing and dancing for their master. You was the entertainment at these Christmas meals, man. You was like the stage show at these Christmas dinners. They would be eating the trimmings and all the turkey. They'll stuff the turkey. And is it me? Turkey's horrible anyway, man. I think turkey's disgusting, man. Honestly, you like turkey, Hakian?
Can't.
You like it? I don't know. I think it's horrible, man.
Can't. I like it. The way the Benjamites cook it,
listen,
serious thing.
Turkey. So I don't think. Quarters, have you ever had a good turkey? I don't know. I don't think turkey can be good no matter how you cook it. You say she made a good turkey. Nah, man, it's dry, man. Turkey's dry, man. Why you say you have to know your way around the kitchen? Why you say I'm just dealing with rubbish chefs? I use that saying I'm just dealing with rubbish chefs.
if I may, sir.
Go ahead.
You know, just the other day, I saw on They got these row of shops, JD, Audi, and I see. I couldn't believe it, man. I was embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. 3 black girls, right, with the little boom box out there in their Christmas clothes, singing and dancing like some clowns. I was embarrassed. And you was just right when you said that. What you just said about the entertainment, and that just brought me back to that. So Salakia.
And which lets you know, man, we was doing these same things years ago. We were singing, dancing, Christmas carols, and like you said, those sisters was doing it the other day with a boombox. We was doing this in slavery, man, in the Caribbean, singing, dancing, and while they're eating their Christmas dinner, we was eating possum. Hold on, let me get a picture of a possum. So we was eating possum and pig feet as well, man. Pig feet. Let me get a picture of your Christmas dinner. Let me get a picture of a slave's Christmas dinner.
Possum, you know.
Yeah, no. And this is what we was eating, man. Hold on. So don't think he was eating turkey back in the day. Nah. This turkey is a new thing for you, you know. You black people don't even know this turkey is a new thing for you during Christmas. This is what you was eating, man. This is what black people was eating. This just even looks horrible.
Man. Like a rat, bro.
Exactly. It's like a gigantic rat. They're eating the turkeys with all the trimmings. And you was eating possum. You was eating possum. You was eating pig's feet as well. That's the things that we was eating, man. Pig's feet. Give me a Deuteronomy. So like I said, God, was you going to say something?
No, I'm just going to say wicked, sir. They're wicked, man.
Yeah, we was eating possum. We was eating pig's feet. We was eating squirrels. We was eating squirrels and the ham. While the slave master had turkey with all the sprouts and the trimmings. So these the nasty things that we was eating. Get me Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 30.
Sounds it.
Hold on, let me get there.
Did you want me to hold the other one to the Psalm still, or?
Actually, I've actually finished that one. Actually, Salake.
Okay, no sir. Let's go back to it, sir. 1 second. They that wasted us required us mirth, saying, "Sing us one of those songs of Zion."
And that would require us to sing and the dance, man. Even here, they require of us to sing and the dance. And everywhere we go, they require of us a song and a dance, man. They require of us a song and a dance, and they use us, man. Imagine this. It's Christmas and you're the entertainment, man. Your brother's the house slave, he's doing all the cooking. And then at the end of the day, he can't get no turkey. Guess what he has to have? A possum. Imagine that. A man says, all right, this turkey's for us, you go eat the possum. These are the people that we're dealing with, man. They hate us, man. And they've always hated us. And we shouldn't celebrate their holidays, man. Every time they're like, why don't you celebrate holidays? Just be like, oh, because I remember when your people made my people eat a possum, man.
Ooh.
I say, yeah, that's why I don't celebrate it. Why don't you celebrate Christmas? Oh, I just remember, you know, when you used to have the turkey and my people had the possum. I can't see past it. I just can't celebrate it. And then see what they say, man.
So
say, nah, my grandma told me about the possum she used to have to eat. Go ahead.
Where is that, sir? That you know, is it outside of the Bible about the possum?
Yeah, that's outside of the Bible. That's history.
Oh, okay. I'll get it off you later then, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no sweat.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me see if I can. Hold on. Maybe if you just type in slaves dinner for Christmas, it should come up.
Okay.
Hold on, let me see. Yeah, see, hold on, let me share it, because as soon as I type it in, it comes up here. Hold on. So it says, on some plantations, a large Christmas banquet was prepared by the masters for the slaves to enjoy. Some of the meats enjoyed during the holidays included roast chicken, ham, squirrel, pig's feet, and possum. So
Eat.
this is imagine niggas is eating pig's feet, roast chicken, ham, squirrel, and possum, and
Eat, bro.
so yeah. And here down here, when you look here, it says after catching possums, slaves sometimes kept them for several days before eating them, just as the joy of cooking would later recommend. So now, that's what. So it lets you know that obviously slaves would eat possums.
Can't.
So that's what they would eat.
That's unlawful, though, right?
Yeah, that's 100% unlawful.
Can't.
Get me. Meanwhile, this devil's unlawful. Why wouldn't he give us the taking? He has the possum.
Right.
Get me. You don't need to keep no law. Why don't he have the possum and give us the taking? That's what he should have done. Nah. And then yeah, those eating all of those kind of things.
Can't say
No sweat. Where was we again?
Verse 4, sir. Psalms 137. It was verse 3, but verse 4 is now.
Yeah, go ahead.
How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land?
How can we celebrate Christmas, man? When we eating possum, man? How can we celebrate Christmas when our children are being sold and all of those kind of things? How can we celebrate those things? We need to take a look in the mirror and say, how can we celebrate them things, man? Every other race would never celebrate these things, man. If it hurt their people, if it hurt their people, they wouldn't do it. But us, we celebrate everything, man. No matter if it harms our people or kills our people, we still celebrate it, man. And we ain't supposed to. We're supposed to be like, I'm not celebrating that way because it harms black people. It kills black people. That's what we're supposed to say, but we don't say them things.
Right.
Give me Deuteronomy 28 and verse 30.
Answer. Deuteronomy 28, verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her.
And listen, man, for Christmas, them men get drunk, have sex with your wife, and all of them things, man.
Right.
They'll get drunk, have sex with your wife. And did you know, during Christmas, the slave master, he would be in the big house, man. And you wasn't allowed there. Guess where you would be? In the slave quarters, man. Imagine there's 2 Christmases going on. There's one where they're eating turkey and all the trimmings and the lights is on and there's partying and there's warmth. There's another Christmas where you're sitting in like a boarded up house eating a possum, man. Where you're sitting in a shed eating a possum. There's 2 sides to life, man. And you're always on the losing side. You ain't ever on the side with the turkey and the gravy, man. You're on the side with the possum and the squirrels, sitting in a boarded up house, depressed, stressed. Your children sold to plantations. And this devil's in the big house with all his family there, man. Which should let you know that what? This holiday is really for him. And you're begging it by trying to follow it, man. That you're a beg trying to keep up with this holiday. Imagine this. This holiday is really for him. And you're trying to be a part of it. And you can't be a part of it. Why? Because you're sitting in some boarded up house, man. You're in some boarded up house, crying, missing your children, eating a possum. And this man's in the big house with wine, whiskey, having the time of his life, man. Having a ball. While you're out there depressed. Drop the get me Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 40 and verse 28.
Come on, counsel. Ecclesiasticus, what's like, sir, if I may?
Chapter 40 and verse 28, I believe. Yeah, 40 and verse 28.
Counsel. Ecclesiasticus 40. Did you say 28, sir?
Yeah, come.
My son, lead not a beggar's life.
Says my son, lead not a beggar's life, man. Now, do you know, during slavery, during Christmas, what would black people do? They would go from house to house and sing and dance for gifts, like what you said you seen the other day outside JD Hakayan. They would sing and dance for gifts. They would go there and they would sing and dance for gifts, man, begging their oppressor.
Damn.
The Bible says, lead not a beggar's life. Read that again.
Counsel. My son, lead.
And what they would get for the gifts that they would get was oranges and chocolates and peppermint, just things like that. And this was the only time black people would get to taste these things, man. It's not like now where you can just go get an orange from the kitchen. It's not like now when you can just go get peppermint tea. It's not like now when you can just run across the road and get chocolate. Just think these things was a rarity for black people to have. The only time black people would get these things was at this time of year. So they used to sing and dance for these things, man. They used to beg and be a good slave for these things. They used to dress up and dance for chocolates, man. We should have said, forget this, we're not going to have the chocolate. That's what we should have said. We should have said, forget this, we're not going to have the chocolate. Go ahead. So I'd say, forget the chocolate.
For better it is to die.
For what?
For better it is to die.
Listen, man, listen, I'd rather die than dance for chocolate, man.
To beg.
I'd rather die than beg for chocolate, man.
Right.
And peppermint. That's what I'd rather do. Go ahead.
Cancer. The life of him that dependeth on another man's table.
And
wow, that's deep, bro.
Actually, and I'd rather die than what? Beg at the white man's table, man. I'd rather die than begging for peppermint. I'd rather die than begging for sugar, man. Imagine that. This man is giving you a peppermint, orange, grapefruits, and all of those things, man. Read that from the top.
Quran Khan, Ecclesiasticus 40.
They would give you handkerchiefs, tobacco, and underwear. These are the gifts that they was giving you. Imagine this. You're making them billionaires, and all they're giving you is handkerchiefs, tobacco, and underwear. Go ahead.
Well, Salakia, if I may,
Go ahead.
their overheads is cheap. They're just giving you a little things to keep you quiet and happy. Exactly. They're just reaping all the money, if I may, Salakia.
Just giving you all that garbage so you return to work January 1st. And they just give you all that so you come back to work January 1st. You used to sing and dance for this money, man. Read that from the top.
Quran, Ecclesiasticus 40, verse 28. My son, lead not a beggar's life.
Son, you think I'm lying that they used to sing and dance for money? I believe they still got the practice till this day. Let me find it for you. Hold on. So now this is the this is the practice and all of those things. So now it's called John Canoe. So it says is a street parade with music, dance, and costumes with origin in many islands across the English-speaking Caribbean. This is how you know I'm not lying, man. Originated in the English-speaking Caribbean. Around Christmas times, used to sing and dance for money. Let's read on. Every Boxing Day and New Year's Day, these cultural parades are predominantly showcased in the Bahamas, where the music is also mainstream and competition results are hotly contested. And back then, what was the competition? If you was the best singer and dancer at someone's doorstep, you would win peppermint, man. You would win oranges. You would win chocolates. And the practice still goes on today. The practice is today called John Canoe. It says, also mainstream competition results are hotly contested. There are also John Canoe parades in Miami in June and Key West in October, where local black populations have their root in the Caribbean in tradition. No, they have have their roots in the Caribbean in addition to culture. Dance, Afro North Carolinians and the people. This type of dancing is also performed in the Bahamas on Independence Day and other historical days. Dances are choreographed to the beat of goatskin drums and cowbells. So now, all right. So it says the festival may have originated 7 centuries ago when enslaved descendants of Africans on plantations in the Bahamas celebrated holidays granted around Christmas time with dance, music, and costumes. This is how you know I'm not making it up, man. Days with dance. So peppermint, man. Let's read the history of it. It says the festival may have originated several centuries ago when enslaved descendants of Africans on plantations in the Bahamas celebrated the holidays granted around Christmas time with dance, music, and costumes after emancipation. It says after emancipation, it says the tradition continued and John Canoe evolved from simple origins to a formal organized. Yeah, blow that up. Blow it up. Yeah. Blow it up, dude. He might as well. Originates to a formal organized parade. Hold on. Yeah. What's it called? Hold on. The origin of evolved from simple origins to a formal organized parade with intricate costume theme, music, and official prizes within various categories. So you'll dance like this for a prize. Says the origin of the word John Canoe is disputed. Theories include that it's named after a folk hero named John Canoe, or that is derived from the French gens. But obviously, that's going into another topic. But that's where it comes from. So the name is John Canoe, and it comes from us dancing for money, man. Comes from us begging the oppressor for money. That's where it comes from. Listen, man. Read what you're holding one more time, Hakian.
Karawan Khan, Ecclesiasticus 40, verse 28. My son, lead not a beggar's life.
My son, lead not a beggar's life. We shouldn't be living a beggar's life, man.
That's right.
We shouldn't be dancing for no John Canoe costumes, dancing for gifts, dancing for peppermint. Don't be doing that, man.
Right.
That's right.
How about we just keep our dignity and go without the peppermint?
Right.
How about we keep our dignity and go without the chocolates?
Right.
That's what we should do. Read on.
Karawan Khan, for better it is to die.
Listen, I'd rather die than beg the white man for anything, man.
That's right.
I'd rather die than beg him. Listen, sometimes it's not a sin to die. It's not a sin to die, but it's disgusting to live a beggar's life, man.
Right.
Khan.
It's disgusting to beg the oppressor hand and knees for something. Go ahead.
So like yourself, if I may, sir, the spirit in that last verse there, better to die than to beg is you know, it's quite strong. You know what I mean? Better to die than to beg. Just a strong, very strong.
For real?
Good words.
For real? The last thing you want to do is beg this devil for anything, man.
That's
Knowing he's not going to give you anyway. Knowing he don't respect you anyway. Is there any more on that, or that it?
The life of him that dependeth on another man's table is not to be counted for a life.
Listen, man, that's not no life when you're at another man's table, man. He decides if there's food on that table. Imagine he decides if you're gonna eat tonight. Imagine your life is in his hands, man. That's not no life, man.
right.
You're not knowing, okay, am I gonna eat today? Am I not gonna eat today? That's how we was in slavery, man. Our life depended on what they wanted to do. We depended on them too much, man. And when we was in Egypt, it was the same thing. And the Lord took us out of Egypt, and we wanted to live a beggar's life and go back. We wanted to live a beggar's life and go right back to Egypt and beg when the Lord was giving us freedom. With that brings us to the end of the class. We're going to clap it up and do the security announcements. Ooh, this is killing me, man. I'm telling you. I got something. I don't know. This food is rough.
This is the ISUPK security
Hard to
announcements.
breathe.
Where the ISUPK started at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Go for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithe, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18 and verse 21. Malachi chapter 3 verses 8 to 10 means 10th in Hebrew. Shara, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to treasury department or teacher. Priest one, free will offering for priest, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Welcome in holy convocation.
The Feast of Purim in March.
Or Akim and Akwafa to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. That say imagine. 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 Barak. Yahweh Bashim Yah Shabrak.
Yahweh Shem Shabrak Kafam.
Ejamata. Class dismissed.
Another one, you. Shalom.
Shalom, Lord of Christ.
Shalom, Lord of Christ. Shalom.